Every single day you open Google Photos, you scroll through your memories, your child's first birthday, your wedding, that trip you took 2 years ago that you still think about. You tap the little search bar and type beach, and somehow Google finds every beach photo you have ever taken, even ones you forgot existed. You think this is incredible, this is the future, and you are right, it is the future. But here is what you do not know. That future was built using your photos, your face, your family's faces, your most private moments. And right now, as you read this, Google is still doing it silently in the background. Every single time you back up a new image to your account, you use Google Photos because it is free, because it is smart, because it organizes your life better than you can organize it yourself. You trust it with memories you cannot afford to lose. And that trust, that complete, reasonable human trust, is exactly what Google is counting on. You do everything right. You back up your photos so you do not lose them. You use the AI search because it is genuinely useful. You keep your account active, but you do not know what Google is doing behind the scenes with every image you upload. There is a specific setting buried deep inside your account that most users have never seen, and it controls whether your most personal photographs are being fed into Google's AI training pipeline right now. Today, that changes. Open Google Photos right now, not later. Right now while you are watching this. Go to your profile icon in the top right corner. Tap Google Account. Then tap Data and Privacy. Scroll down until you see a section called My Activity. But do not stop there. Keep scrolling. There is a subsection most people walk right past. It is labeled something close to Web and App Activity. And nested inside it, in fine print that Google does not highlight, is the switch that determines whether your uploaded content is being used to improve Google's products. Look at it. Is it on or off? For the overwhelming majority of Google Photos users, it is on. It has been on since the moment you created your Google account. You never turned it on deliberately. Google turned it on for you, quietly, at setup, in exchange for the free storage and the smart features you use every day. And if you are looking at that screen right now, what you are seeing is not a setting you chose. It is a default you inherited, and that default has been feeding your photographs into Google's AI systems, potentially for years. Here's what you need to understand about how Google Photos actually works underneath the surface. When you upload a photograph to Google Photos, that image does not just sit in a folder waiting for you to look at it. Google's systems analyze it immediately. They identify the faces in the image. They detect the location based on the sky, the buildings, the landscape, even if you have GPS turned off. They categorize the objects, the events, the relationships between the people they detect. They assign it metadata you never see. What Google does not advertise is that this analysis has a second purpose beyond organizing your library. Under the terms you agreed to, and most users never actually read, Google retains the right to use content you upload to develop and improve its services. That phrase, develop and improve its services, sounds harmless. But what it actually means in the context of modern AI development is that your photographs can be used as training data for the machine learning models that power Google's products. Hidden inside their terms of service is a clause that grants Google a broad, royalty-free license to host, reproduce, distribute, modify, and create derivative works from content you upload. The word modify in that context is not about cropping your photos. It is about the computational processes that extract patterns, faces, objects, and relationships from your images to make AI smarter. Most users never discover that the face recognition features inside Google Photos, the ones that group your family members together so conveniently, were developed using exactly this kind of user-uploaded image data. Most users never discover that when Google Lens identifies a plant in your garden or reads text from a menu in your photo, it learned to do that using images from accounts like yours. The system is elegant, it is useful, and it is the invisible part that is silently turning your private photo album into a commercial training asset, and it goes further than you think. Google's AI ambitions in 2024 and 2025 have accelerated massively. Gemini, Google's flagship AI, requires vast quantities of visual training data to understand images, recognize patterns, and respond to visual queries. Google has one of the largest repositories of human uploaded photographs on Earth. They are not leaving that repository untouched. Let us talk about exactly what Google Photos can access and what Google's broader ecosystem touches when you have your account fully connected and your settings left at their defaults. When you use Google Photos with standard settings, Google has access to your camera roll, every photo and video you have ever backed up. That means every face that has ever appeared in your images. Does an AI training pipeline need images of your children's faces, your aging parents, your private moments at home? Ask yourself that. Google has access to the metadata attached to every image. which includes the precise GPS coordinates of where you were standing when you took that photo, the exact time and date, the device you used. Does a photo storage app need to know your precise location patterns over 5 years of photographs? Does it need to map where you sleep, where you work, where your children go to school, all derivable from your photo location history? Ask yourself that. Google's systems have access to the faces they have identified and grouped across your entire library. They have built a model of what your face looks like, what your spouse's face looks like, what your children look like, across hundreds or thousands of images, across different lighting conditions, different ages, different contexts. Does any company need a multi-year, multi-angle facial recognition profile of your family members in order to show you a slideshow? Ask yourself that. And here is the part that will genuinely stop you. These data collection processes do not pause when you close the app. They do not reset when you log out. The permissions you granted at sign-up stay active indefinitely, running constantly, and Google has structured your account settings in such a way that turning them off requires navigating through multiple layers of menus that most users would never find on their own. Here is exactly what you need to do right now. Follow these steps precisely. Do not skip any of them. Each one addresses a different layer of how Google uses your data. Step 1. On your phone or desktop, go to myaccount.google.com. Sign in if you need to. Once you are inside your Google account dashboard, tap on Data and Privacy in the left-hand menu or in the main options. This is the control center for everything Google knows about you and everything it does with that information. Step 2. Scroll down to the section called History Settings. You will see Web and App Activity. This is the master switch. Tap on it. You will see that it is turned on. Tap the toggle to pause it. Google will show you a pop-up trying to discourage you. It will say things like, "You may lose some features." Do not be intimidated by this. Tap pause anyway. This single change alone can make a dramatic difference in how much of your behavioral data Google collects going forward. But we are not done. Pausing web and app activity is step 1, not the finish line. Step 3, go back to Data and Privacy. Now find Ad Settings. Inside there, you will find Ad Personalization. Turn this off. When AD personalization is enabled, Google uses signals from your Photos activity, your searches, your YouTube views, and your location history to build a commercial profile of you. Your photograph habits, what events you photograph, what products appear in your images, what locations you visit, all of this feeds into that profile. Switching this off right now cuts that connection. Step 4. Still inside your Google account, go back to Data and Privacy and find Personalization and Google Services. Inside this section, look for settings related to how Google uses your activity to improve its products across its services. You are looking for any option that references "Help improve Google's products" or "Searches and browsing." Disable these. These are the settings that allow Google to use your interactions, including your photo searches, as input for its AI development pipelines. Step 5. Now open the Google Photos app directly. Go to your profile picture in the top right corner. Tap Photos Settings. Then go to Google Photos Lab or Sharing Settings, depending on your version. Inside here, look specifically at any setting related to face grouping or face recognition. On many accounts, Google has this enabled by default. This feature works by Google building a facial model from your images. You can disable face grouping entirely from this menu. This does not delete your photos. It simply stops Google from maintaining and expanding its facial recognition model based on the faces in your images. Step 6, and this is critical. Go back to myaccount.google.com. Navigate to Data and Privacy. Find My Activity. Inside My Activity, you will find an option to delete your activity by date or by product. Select Google Photos from the product filter, then select All Time. Delete it. This removes the stored record of your photo activity from Google's servers. It does not delete your actual photographs. Your images stay safe, but it erases the behavioral trail that Google has been building about how you interact with your images. Step 7. While you are inside My Activity, look for Activity Controls and find YouTube History and Location History as well. Even if you do not think these connect to your photos, Google's systems cross-reference activity across all its products. Turning off location history in particular removes one of the most revealing data streams Google has about your physical life. A data stream that your photographs have been silently contributing to every time you upload a geotagged image. These 7 steps, taken together right now, represent a fundamental change in your relationship with Google Photos. You are still able to use the service. Your photos remain safe, but you have just closed the most significant channels through which Google was converting your private memories into commercial and AI training value. Now let us talk about why Google built it this way, because you deserve to understand the real answer. Google is not, at its core, a technology company. Google is an information company. Its entire business model, every dollar of the hundreds of billions it generates annually, is built on knowing things about people, knowing what they search for, knowing what they watch, knowing where they go, knowing who they are with, and knowing what their lives look like, literally, visually. The more Google knows about you, your relationships, your habits, your home, your family, your emotional milestones, your health events, your economic circumstances, the more valuable you are to Google's advertising engine and to its AI development programs. A photograph of a hospital bracelet tells Google something your search history might not. A photograph of a pregnancy announcement tells Google something your shopping history will confirm 6 months later. A photograph of a child's bedroom tells Google what age your children are. A photograph taken at 3 a.m. tells Google something about your mental state that no typed query would reveal. Google Photos is not a free service out of generosity. It is a free service because your photographs are worth more to Google than any monthly subscription fee you would ever pay. You are paying for Google's data empire with your privacy, with your family's privacy, with memories you shared with Google in trust and which Google converted, under the legal cover of a terms of service that almost no one reads, into fuel for one of the most powerful AI development operations on Earth. Before you say, but everyone does this, let me stop you right there. Not every company has access to the depth and intimacy of data that Google Photos holds. A chatbot that reads your typed messages is one thing. A system that has ingested 15 years of your visual memories, your face, your children's faces, the interior of your home, your medical visits, your most intimate celebrations, that is something categorically different. And the fact that Google operates this system under a default on consent model means that billions of people have never made an active decision to participate in it. That is not an accident, it is a design choice. And now you know it. What you did today by watching this and applying these steps is something the vast majority of Google Photos users will never do. Most people will go their entire lives without knowing these settings exist. They will back up tens of thousands of photographs. They will trust Google with the visual record of their entire lives. And they will never once be told in plain language what is happening on the other side of that upload. You are different now. You have turned off the behavioral tracking. You have disabled ad personalization. You have removed the activity history. You have stopped face recognition. You have cut the most significant data pipelines right now, today, that were converting your photographs into commercial value for a company that was never fully transparent about what it was doing with them. Your photographs are still safe. Your memories are still yours. But right now, for the first time possibly in years, they are not actively being processed to make Google's AI smarter, to make Google's ads sharper, or to make Google's model of who you are more precise. The benefits you will experience from this are not just philosophical. Advertisers will have less precise information about your family structure, your health status, your economic situation, your location patterns. Google's AI will not be adding new data from your account to its training sets. The facial models built from your family's images will stop growing, and you will have finally exercised the control over your own data that Google made deliberately difficult to find. Share this video with everyone you know who uses Google Photos, your parents, your siblings, your colleagues, your friends, because right now there are over 2 billion people using Google Photos with no idea that this is happening. 2 billion people whose most personal images are sitting inside a system with default settings that favor Google's data collection over their privacy. 2 billion people who have never been shown these menus in plain language. 2 billion people who deserve to make an active, informed choice about whether they want to participate in this or, rather than having that choice made for them at sign-up and then buried under 6 layers of settings. You now have the knowledge. Go apply these settings right now before you forget. And when someone you care about opens Google Photos tonight and smiles at a memory, think about whether they know what is happening to that moment on the other side of the upload. They deserve to know.